Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Wellsy Weekly Podcast, the show where I talk about anything and everything. Coming up on today's show, I'm going to be giving you an insight into my plans for the summer, from sawing my bed to becoming a salt fairy, as well as tell you my shenanigans with some people with accents, but more on that later on. First of all, I don't know if you've noticed, but my voice might sound a little different at the moment. That's because I've moved back to my mum's house for the summer, right? Yeah, I came back from uni about a week ago. I'm currently sat in my room recording this podcast, so if it sounds a little weird, that's why. And I love my mum and sister, and dog, you know. I really do, but I don't know if it's just me, right? But it feels weird being back. Like, I've been living away from my family for the past year, and it was great. Obviously I missed them, and I wanted to come back at times. But now I'm back, I'm thinking, I prefer living on my own. And I don't mean it in a bad way, it's just a little shock to the system because my family is noisy, right? And it's not a very big house, so everything's loud anyway. But I've been woken up 3 times already. Either people playing music or talking about whatever girls talk about, because there's only girls in the house, you know. And I'm not used to it. I'm used to waking up at 10 o'clock in the morning, listening to birds outside, and it was nice, you know. And now I'm listening to Stormzy being blasted from my sister's room. Her wall is next door. Literally, it's not even a proper wall. It's just one of those like fake walls. I can't remember what they're called, but it's a fake wall. So I'm getting woken up by Stormzy. I'm thinking, I'm not drunk enough for this kind of music, right? Because she listens to all sorts, but it's mostly stuff like R&B, fat bass, and people just jabbering on about something that I can't understand because I don't speak rap. Maybe that's for the best thinking about it, because I imagine the lyrics are something to do with getting wasted, being a player, and doing drugs, and I only relate to one of those things, sadly. So being at home is not what I remember it being. Maybe it's because like I've grown up since then. I mean, I've clearly grown up, but like mentally as well, I meant. Or maybe it's just because I've like moved from a big room with an ensuite back into a box room, right? And when I say a box room, I mean I could be Harry Potter upstairs, right? Honestly, this room is tiny. Tiny. Like, you can't fit a normal bed in here. I had to build one out of old kitchen cabinets. You know, I measured the size of this room once, and it was 7 by 7 foot floor space, right? That's not including the inbuilt cupboard that takes up one corner of the room. That is smaller than a prison cell. Literally, I googled it at 1 o'clock in the morning once because I was bored. My room is smaller than a prison cell. I can't believe it. And I blame this room for being small as well, like. I know I'm about 5'8", 5'9"-ish, but apparently that's average height for men in the UK, right? I think that's absolute rubbish, right? Because I want to know where all the midgets are hiding, because I'm the smallest one of my friends usually. And the rest of them are giants. They're like 6 foot or taller. So I really don't know where all these midgets are hiding. Like, do they have like this little secret society that I don't know about? Are they like the borrowers that just live in the walls? I don't know. Or are they just so small that I can't see them, right? I don't know. But I will find them, and when I do, I am dragging them out in public just so I look taller. Until, of course, you know, some giant beanpole of a guy walks by, and then we both feel bad about our heights. And then we eat our sorrows away with ice cream. But I like ice cream, so it's a bit of a win-win situation. Now, speaking of my room, this is something I want to try and sort out this summer. Like, I want to improve the space in my room, so I'm going to try and lower the bed itself, so I can put more shelves on the wall, you know. But in order to do that, I need to dismantle the bed and cut the cabinets right down to the right height. Because what it is, right, I built my bed out of old kitchen cabinets. And it's got some foots on it that take up a bit of space on the right side next to the wall. So I think I'm going to take them down, just so I've got more space under the bed itself. And then I'm also going to chop the cabinets in half, 50 centimetres off the ground, maybe? I don't know. Something about that, but I'm going to cut it in half. But I might wait to do that, because knowing me, I'll probably put a hole through the wall doing it. It's happened before, when I was taking the frame off the cupboard. But with a bit of polyfiller, and praying that the thing in the loft doesn't find the hole, it's all good. Because, side note, there is something living in the loft, because it makes scratching noises above my head on a night, which is kind of freaky. But my money is on a mouse, right? But it could also be a lost pigeon. But I'd rather not find out, to be honest with you. Anyway, moving on from that. I also want to help my mum with the garden this year because she's got this illness which makes her very tired easily and she can't do a lot of things at once. So I thought it'd be nice to just help her with the garden because she wants that doing. So at the end we have like this raised bit above the normal grass It's been overtaken by the weeds and this plant from the neighbour's garden. Honestly, it's like the Little Shop of Horrors, like roots. It's like it's alive. This thing. Well, obviously it's alive. No, this plant is like it's evil looking, and the roots of this plant is literally broken through the fence and infested our garden. So to try and stop it from growing, my mum bought this big tub of salt. Like I've never seen so much salt in a bucket until now. Like it was mental. And she wanted to dust it all over the weeds and try and kill them. And I asked if I could do it. Well, it was the most fun I've had in 5 minutes ever. Like, I scooped up this salt, I would start flinging it about like a madman. It was great, honestly. I was skipping and throwing this salt around. By the end of it, the garden looked like a winter wonderland. It was great. I had way too much fun doing it. But I think halfway through it, I just shouted to my mum at the other end of the garden. I was just like, "Look at me, I'm a salt fairy!" Now, what else am I planning this summer? Well, I thought it might be a good idea to finish driving lessons, you know, so I've booked some of them, and that'll be good. Oh, I also want to try and do a bit more recording. Specifically, I want to try and improve my accents, because let me tell you something, right? I'm bad at doing accents, but I'd love to try and do it, you know. I think it's just something it's just interesting, like, almost every town or group of people have a different dialect, but we all speak the same language. And everybody says something in a slightly different way. Or like a small group of people will say something in a different way to somebody else. Or another group. Which I just think that's quite interesting, quite cool. So you could go up north, and they could sound, I don't know, slightly rougher, like a deeper voice compared to someone with Queen's English. Or Scousers. I don't like that accent, Scouse accent. I'm sorry, but the high-pitched, "Hiya, I'm from Liverpool." Yeah, that doesn't sound nice to me, personally. But some people like the accent, you know, so that's fine. Some people also like the Brummie accent. I'm not sure who, but I'm sure they're out there, somewhere. Speaking of accents, I've met people with all sorts of accents, and some of them I will never forget, right? I couldn't even if I tried. For example, I was at work once, and I used to work at KFC during the chicken crisis where they had no chicken. Ironic, I know, let's get over it. Anyway, and I was on the morning shift on the drive-through, and this Irish woman comes up to the window, and she goes, and I apologise for the accent, "Hello there, I got any chicken?" And I explain the situation, and I go, "No, sorry," and she's like, "Right, well, where's the nearest McDonald's?" And I point and I say, "That way," and she drives off with a smile. I'm not sure if that's meant to happen, but that was the happiest customer of the day, which made me laugh, it really did. It still does. It was just how happy she was. And I think the accent, it's just purely because she had an accent. It was like a really broad Irish accent that just cracked me up. It really did. Oh, and I remember another story, right? But this is not so happy, right? So, I was getting the train back to my mum's for a weekend visit. I'm not in the best mood because seat reservations have been cancelled, so I've had to stand and it's busy. And I'm not in the best mood, right? Well, this family comes onto the train, don't they? Oh, and this family, they're just one of those families. And the mum was from Burnley. And I know, because she was talking the ear off of this sweet old lady, right? But she kept getting distracted from her phone. And she goes, Paul, look at this, Paul. Oh, look at this, Paul. Oh, look at this, Paul. Are you even listening to me? Paul. And the dad, sneaky feeling he might be called Paul. Well, he sounded like a high-pitched goat, didn't he? And he kept laughing. And I don't know why he kept laughing. Because he was so proud of himself for taking a selfie in the train toilet with the wallpaper. Yes, that's right. He was taking selfies with himself of the wallpaper in the toilets on the train. Like, what? I'm sorry. Why are you taking selfies in the toilet? You're not a teenage girl, and why are you laughing about it? Do you realise you were adopted by humans as a kid, right? Is it just your impression of your own kind? My God, it was an interesting laugh to say the least. Oh, and then the kids, they were all just like spawns from the devil himself, or like gremlins that hadn't been fed. Oh, they just didn't shut up. The whole family didn't shut up. But I thought to myself, I can survive, you know, it's fine. They'll probably get off on the next stop, it'll be fine. And then the woman and the old lady are chatting, and the Burnley woman says, "Ooh yeah, getting off at Tamworth, yeah, Paul, look at this." And Tamworth's my stop. And I just go, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with this for another half an hour. I had to move carriages. I've never had to move carriages before, but I couldn't cope with this family. with all the small people and the Paul, look at this, Paul, and the goat laugh, right? I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I'm getting flashbacks just thinking about it now. So, the moral of the story is, just play your headphones so loud that you can't hear the woman from Burnley. Well, I don't know about you, but I think I need to think about something else for a little bit, right? So, thank you for listening today. If you've enjoyed what you've heard, let me know down below, and as always, enjoy your cuppa.